EDC Echo Delta Charlie wasn't an acronym that we never heard in the 80s or the 70s, and we hear it every day now. So in the 80s, I was in my 20s and I carried some stuff every single day. If you're watching this video, please chime in, let us know what you carried. If you were in the 80s, regardless of your age, you might have been, 10 years old in the 80s. Now, follow me as we step in to the 80s.
Dare you?
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel, and welcome if it's your first time here. My name is Johnny, and I'm going to show you some stuff from the 80s that I carried every single day. I played this every day, but I didn't carry this every day. Well, there we go. We'll come back to him. I wonder if I can make a touchdown. In the 70s video, everybody left a comment that they carried a bandana. Well, guess what? In the 80s, I still didn't carry a bandana. Now that was a hard bandana. Okay, so yeah, we had all kinds of different things going on in the 80s. The music especially, it was just this kaleidoscope of everything. And there's no way I'm going to be able to capture all that. But let's see what Johnny was up to. So Johnny in the 80s was a musician. He played full-time. I was a professional drummer playing in so many different types of bands. I don't even know where to start. But the one thing I had with me every single day was my Storm Rider. I wore a Storm Rider everywhere, including going to Europe. I had Pink Floyd written on the back because I thought that was the coolest band in the world back then. What did I carry in my Storm Rider? It was this Swiss Army knife. I showed this knife to you in my story time video. This knife was given to me in the 80s. I carried it every single day, most of the time in the pocket of my Storm Rider. Yeah, I took this to Europe. We went to England and Scotland, and it got confiscated a couple of times at one of the clubs. And yeah, I always got it back, and here it is. It's still here. Camping like crazy. I used everything on here. I liked some of the tools in here. Of course, the most used tool was these tweezers. You can see that they have been well used. You can only imagine, well, I may as well tell you what I used them for. Yes, it was my roach clip.
How dare you?
And it was in full-time duty. Everybody was looking for this thing back in those days, and it was high in demand. And it's still there. That's the original roach clip, or I should say tweezers. Yeah, my Wenger Swiss Army knife. If anybody knows what the model is, that would be much appreciated, because I don't know what the name of that model is. Now, of course, the roach clip was handy, but, you know, I had to carry around a pipe as well. Now, this is not the original sandstone pipe, but this is the one that replaced it when, well, it got confiscated and I had to throw it away. So I needed a new one. And this is the one, it caught pretty much the half tail end of the 80s, which is not too bad. So it's still here, it's still running. I haven't run it in probably 30 years or maybe more, but it's still here. And I may have carved it with that, but I can't remember. It's definitely either that or the one that's coming up, and that is maple, if I remember correctly. And you're not going to believe I still have the matches that I carried from the 80s. Now, I did carry matches a lot, and this is from the 80s. If you're from the country that I'm from, you probably are looking at this and know exactly what era this would be from. And that's all I have left on those. Now, I also carried a lighter. Now, the Bic lighter, which I have here, is definitely not the original. However, in the 80s, we used to go to house parties a lot, you know, and the Bic lighter, it kind of like would do a circuit. It would go around the living room, and sometimes it came back to you, and sometimes it didn't. Sometimes it ended up in somebody's pocket or purse, and you always wondered, what happened to that lighter? I think they're on their own kind of a tour. There's probably a secret tour of Bic lighters that are traveling the world, but I picked this guy up. This is an Imco. My friends had Zippos and Bic lighters and matches and stuff like that, but I thought I'd be a little bit different. I got this, I think, at an Army surplus store. This is the original. I did replace it with this guy here, just sort of to, I don't know, bring back the nostalgia. This one's a little bit more modern, but they're both the same company, Imco, and they worked good. I liked them. The only problem that I had was, just like the Zippo, the fluid would run out really quick. So, but yeah, I carried this guy every day in one of my pockets somewhere along the line. Also in the 80s, I wasn't really into watches at that time, but I did buy a calculator watch, and I'll put the watch that I picked up on the screen. I wore that one every day during the 80s, and then I replaced this one not too long ago, again, just for nostalgia reasons. Now, I was in the military as well, and when I was in the military, my watch got beat up a lot. The G-Shock wasn't around quite yet, or it might have been around 83 that they were out, but I didn't really know anything about the G-Shock till later on, but we'll talk about that in another video. But that's my calculator watch that I wore in the 80s, not this exact one. Hey, how did I miss this, right? The Buck 112. I showed this knife to you in one of my story time videos. You might want to check out the story on that. It was a good story. I was actually trying to be subtle on that without, telling you everything, but here it is. Yeah, this is my Buck 112 3-dot that I pounded nails with, right? You're in your 20s. You're not going to reach for a hammer. You're going to reach for your buck. And look at this. The blade centering is still immaculate. It's perfect. Here it is. All its glory. A lot of communism going on there and there. That's unfortunate. But there you go. It's a 3-dot Buck 112. I think I remember where I got it. This thing is still sticky sharp because it is retired. It's retired along with that Wenger and that ash pipe as well. But anyhow, there it is, my Buck 112. Now, when I was in the military, I don't know if I mentioned that already, but I did carry my Buck 112 on my combats. I can't remember what we called them, fatigues or something like that. I can't remember what they were called. I carried this every single day when I was in the military. Of course, they also lived on my Levi's and my leather belt and all that stuff. And it came with me when I was on the road as a musician as well. My venerable Buck 112. Now, I was also not just a drummer, but I was aspiring to be a harmonica player and a guitar player. So I was kind of like just touching those things because I was very busy either on the road or in a pipe band. And I don't know if I mentioned that or not, but during my military days, I was in a pipe band. I also carried this harmonica. Now, this harmonica is my first harmonica. I didn't know anything about the harmonica. Look at the artwork on this. This is just, it's brilliant. The Echo Harp. And it's still in the original case. Yeah, it's kind of been crunched a little bit, but I suppose I could probably fix that. But there it is. Again, this is not the harmonica that set me on my path towards my blues, I'm trying to find the right word. We'll come up to that in the 90s. I think I'm probably going to do a 90s video because you're probably going to want to know more about the harmonica and my blues experience. But here it is, the Echo Bell Metal Reeds. It's even registered. So you got a C on one side and you got a G on the other side. I started learning like really, really simple songs just to understand. And in the pipe band, I took this with me too because the notation, the type of structure was very similar. You could play a marching Highland song on the harmonica. Do a take two. Oh my goodness. Jump on the harmonica from a 80s Echo. Wow, that's so cool. I'm probably going to be rich and famous on that one, folks. There you go. These are some of the things that I carried daily in the 80s. Please let me know in the comments what you did, what you might carry in the 80s if you didn't live in the 80s. And it's unfortunate for some of you that didn't live in the 80s. You missed out. You really did. And the comments from the 70s video were priceless. One of the comments was, what would Bobby Brady carry in the 70s? Your comments are awesome, by the way. I'm sorry if I don't respond to every single one of them, but I do read every single one of them. The 80s, and you guessed it, the 90s is coming next. I want to be clear. I'm going to be doing a 90s EDC because, yeah, I got some 80s or 90s stuff that is going to be kind of interesting as well. So along the same theme, 70s, 80s, 90s, and beyond. I hope you liked this video.
Dare you?
In the meantime, and in between time,